you guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you all who don't know, I'm Mr. Williams, the school counselor. And in today's episode of Koalaty Careers, we have a special guest that's no stranger to the Greenville Public School District. But since he is of age, I'll let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his educational background starting in elementary all the way to high school. Take it away.
Hey, thanks a lot. My name is Daniel Morris. I was born and raised in Greenville, Mississippi. I started elementary school at Emma Boyd Elementary School, and then going on to Coleman Junior High School, and then graduated from Greenville High School in 1999.
Oh yes, sir.
Uh,
1999 was a great year. So upon graduating from high school, what did you decide to do? Because you took a road that some people that not a lot of people take. What road did you take?
I always go back to one of my favorite teachers that we had, Miss Rosemary Rogers, back in Coleman Junior High School. She taught us a poem by Robert Frost called "The Road Not Taken." So typically, after high school, a lot of people, they have several different options. You can go to college, you can get a job, you can stay at home with your parents and live off them for the rest of your life. That's an option for you. The path I chose was to join the military, the United States Marine Corps, as a matter of fact. And growing up, I never thought I'd join the military. I had my grandfather; he retired from the army. Had a couple aunts and uncles who did certain military service as well. But if you would have asked me in high school or junior high school if the military would have been something for me, I probably say absolutely not. But what happened was I took the meeting with the Marine Corps recruiter. He sat down and talked to me and actually opened my eyes up to some things and some misconceptions that I had on the military. Everybody is not a frontline soldier, for lack of better words. You look at it growing up. I played a lot of sports. Football was one of my primary sports growing up, and everybody has their role to play on the team. In the same way in the military, whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, computers, radios, administrator, it doesn't matter. They have all different types of skill sets that's needed in order to make that big machine run. And the path that I chose was to join the Marine Corps and become a computer specialist. And I
Okay,
did it for 20 years.
okay. So let's go back in elementary and coming up. What were some subjects that you really enjoyed?
Math and science was always my go-to growing up, and I was a above average student. It wasn't, the military wasn't a last ditch effort. I had a great score on the ACT, had different college opportunities and stuff like that. But sometimes you're looking for something different, and some of the things the military have to offer, whether it be the challenge of doing something new, travel and adventure. But one of the things that stood out to me was being that self-reliant person. I didn't want to, depend on anybody. And the military gave me that freedom, whether it been financially or, the support system surrounding being a military service member. Those are things that stood out for me and helped me with my choice.
Okay, okay. So when you're making that decision and going in the military, what was the deciding factor on which branch that you would go? Was it always the Marines, or did you look at the Air Force? Did you look at the Navy? Did you look at the Army? What how did you make that decision to go with the Marines?
Okay, I wish I had a more detailed answer for you on that one. They were the first ones to talk to me, and
Okay, okay,
it they sold me they sold me hard, and I fell for it. Not in a bad way, but it was a great decision. I knew a little bit about the Army. I had a brother who graduated a year before me who went to the Army Reserve, so I got to go see his boot camp graduation. And again, I had family members that served in the Army. We had an Air Force ROTC in high school, so I got to see them do drill movements and things like that at different football games or different ceremonies that we had. Seeing them walk around the school in their uniforms once a week, had a little bit of familiarity with them. And when the recruiter called me, I said that was possibly an option for me. But like I said, we sat down and had a long conversation, and believe I didn't know the Marine Corps even had an aviation side with jets and helicopters and things like that that supported. So if that was something I wanted to do, I could have did it as a Marine as well,
Okay.
and still got to wear the dress blues that the Marine Corps is known for.
Okay. And so during some of what you were saying, I picked up you had a lot of family members that had some experience with the military. Talk about how important it was to have those role models, those influential persons in your life that had experience in the military, how that played a role in you becoming uh, a Marine or influencing
Well,
you to do it.
my grandfather, he retired from the Army Reserve, and watching him, I never really saw him in uniform. I saw his uniforms around the house, but I do know that he always bragged about his two retirement checks, retiring from the Army and retiring teaching at the vocational center, in Greenville as well. So that kind of longevity, being able to think, 20, 30 years down the road, and understand that I don't want to work all my life. I don't want to, be outside in the heat, at 60 years old trying to, work on a road or doing construction work and things like that. So, we like to say not seeing the forest for the trees, but as you envision yourself, not just now, not just after high school, but 20, 30 years from that point, it's tough, but you can start taking those incremental steps, those baby steps, to be that successful person that you want to be, whatever your definition of success is.
Okay. And coming up, what was some of the best advice uh, choosing an occupation or work advice you ever got? Some of the best advice that someone has given to you, some knowledge
Um,
or wisdom.
well, for me, it was always doing something that makes you happy, right? It's one thing to get a paycheck, but it's another thing to be able to wake up in the morning and go do something that you love doing and get a paycheck for it on top of it. You know what I mean? And so if you can find that and find how to, right now the craze is, being a video gamer, right? And getting on YouTube or getting on whatever platform and monetizing that esports and things like that. I wish I would have had that growing up because I would have been all about it. But the most successful people figure out ways to monetize what they love to do. And everybody can't do it playing sports.
Okay, that's I mean you're definitely dropping a lot of gems for the students that's coming up and finally going out. What what advice would you give to that elementary student that's watching this video and that says one day, hey, I want to go to the Marines or I want to be in the military? What would you tell them?
I would say what somebody once told me. Life is about choices. You got to make great choices. And joining the military is a great choice. You may have some people that had bad experiences or have some misunderstandings that's going to put negative thoughts in your head, but always know that the military is a great choice. And no matter what you do, make the greatest situation out of it. I mean, I can tell you now. Once I got older, I had guys that living in Hawaii, been in the military, and calling back and saying that that they were miserable, but it's because they were just staying in their room, not going out and making the best of the environment that they're in. Going out, seeing the place, seeing the sights, doing things that they've never done before. And once they sat back and started, getting out of that comfort zone, their life turned around amazingly. So no matter what you do, continue to make those positive steps forward. Make great choices, and you'll end up achieving all your goals that you want to have in your life.
All right. I said that was the last one, but I have one more before we let you get up out here. You got to tell us What before you retired, what was your highest? What was your rank?
So with the military, you have enlisted and officer ranks. Um, to become an officer, you go to college, get your 4-year degree, and they have programs for you to start off as a lieutenant, become a captain, become a general. Um, for me, I started off as a private E1, enlisted in the Marine Corps, and worked my way up. I got a meritorious promotion. That means you get promoted faster than normal time by graduating number one in my military job school. So that pushed me above my peers and got me ahead of my time. And then so I worked my way up to sergeant, all the way up to E7 gurney sergeant. And then at that point, I decided to become something known as a warrant officer. That's a different life to live, and please reach out. We can talk more about what that means on a different road, different setting. But as a chief warrant officer, I had the best of both worlds. The most people I had working underneath me was about 35 when I was platoon commander, and then once I got done with that role, it was job specific. I was known as the best computer specialist in my unit, and that's what my role was. And so I would develop network architectures that we would deploy. So basically, this internet infrastructure is used at your house. We would deploy in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, with a generator power, and be able to get internet access to the hundreds of Marines that needed to do their jobs out in the middle of nowhere.
Man, that's some heavy stuff. And all coming from a product of the Greenville Public School District. So there you have it, just another example of someone that came from Greenville that's showing that if you put the hard work in, if you put the dedication in, if you put the time in, that you can be successful no matter what career path you take. If you are getting value from these videos, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications along with sharing. And as always, it's a great day to be a koala.